This tutorial will focus on the Athlete Life Advisor and walk through those different areas where the Athlete Life Advisor may be interacting. So, using our dummy athlete, I am just going to minimize the screens over the left hand side here to give us as much space as possible, and then I am going to navigate my way to the Performance tab, which is over on the right hand side here at the top. So the first page we see here is the IPP summary. If you click on the IPP tab, that'll take us to the section where the various strategies are described. So the first thing, and something that's very important for Athlete Life Advisors to do, is to be able to interact with this strategy section and provide detail to any strategies that may involve them. So as you can see here at the bottom, we have an Athlete Life strategy. So I'm just going to click open, and a form will appear that will contain several fields where detail is required. So a performance planner or a head coach will fill out the skeleton of the strategy, but then the individual provider will be expected to go in here and put some detail in with regard to what their action plan is, what measures and targets they may have, and eventually, once the strategy has run its course, to write an outcome summary that will enhance learnings and help the program move forward. So the first place to look when you're an Athlete Life Advisor is the IPP page, and to be contributing information and reviews to various strategies that are involving you. I'll just get out of there. Our next stop will be the Athlete Life section, so I'm going to click on the Life tab right up at the top in the center, and that'll take us to the Life section where there are 6 tabs at present. One of these tabs will disappear. It is the Communications tab. That is because it is a duplicate of the tab which is at the front of the individual section, so we'll talk to that later in this tutorial, but the long term will see this Life section containing 5 tabs. So the first and second of these tabs should be very familiar to Life Advisors. My understanding is that the group has been very organised for a couple of years now and had quite a standard process. So these fields are all basic text fields. You can simply click in the various field and start typing. Simple as that. If you have a Word document or something that you've already typed up, you can paste sections into this, not a problem. You'll notice that the text goes red. That means that it has been edited. It will not change to black until you click save. So it's a good little cue there for you to make sure you click save regularly. Next tab, again, support team. This will be familiar to you also, different to the overall athlete support team, which consists of coaches and managers and science providers and so on. This support team is specific to Athlete Life. The third tab, the skills profile, is an example of some neat analytics that the system can produce for us. Here we see the wagon wheel, if you like, of skills profile, and we've got some example values in here. If I wanted to add another one, I would simply click add. That would default to today's date. Then I would go down and enter some values for those particular areas. Once again, I'd click save and would see that profile change to reflect the values that we just added in. If I wanted to compare it to the set of values that was already in there from 2 months ago, I could simply change some of these selections. I'm just going to click all, and there we go. Both profiles are now mapped against each other, and it can be quite a neat comparison to do that. Following on from this, Athlete Life priorities. Again, relatively simple, I would expect. If you wanted to attach a document that was useful, simply click on the document section, restore down the screen. That can be found just next to the close button at the top right hand corner. And what I will do, I'll just select on just a random document here,
drag it across, then let it go. There you go, it has been added. So the life section has got a variety of tabs there, useful for uploading all your standard interactions with athletes. The last section to have a look at is back on the individual section, so I'm going to go up into the right hand margin here and click individual. Just going to expand that a little bit. What we see on this front page is the basic information for the athlete, but next to the support team tab here you'll see communications and notes. So click on communications. This is the field that was duplicated in the life section. It consists of a running history of interactions with the athlete. What we are expecting from all our providers is to have them indicate when they have had a contact with an athlete, such as a meeting or something significant, something more than just a bumping into each other in the hallway kind of interaction. We would look to see some communication be put in here. So I'm just going to add one, add meeting. A form will open up that has a variety of fields there which are really tailor-made for the Athlete Life Advisor team. I'm just going to write something random in here. Study options for 2011 discussed. These extra fields are very useful for the life team because they allow for some really good reporting to be done with regard to time spent, for example, on different areas with athletes, and so it's well worth the effort to enter some of this information. There you go, a simple note. I'll click save there, and when I go back to the communications tab, as you can see, the top communication there is what we've just entered. Now if I wanted to review some of the various communications, I could filter this list simply by clicking on the discipline, or I could filter it by date. Very sort of simple way to look through the different lines of communication. As an athlete is in the system for a while, there may be as many as a couple of hundred lines of communication, so it can be quite useful to know how to filter them. The next thing to look at is the notes. Right next to the communications tab, really what this section is all about is your own thoughts, notes and ideas following from a meeting or a conversation you may have had. So it's really about providing a history trail so that before you meet with them again you can refresh your memory as to the discussions that were had and the various ideas that you may have passed across. So I'm going to click add. I'm going to choose life from the discipline list, and I'm just going to write some simple notes here. There you go, just a relatively simple sentence there, but in reality you may add quite a lot of notes there if it's justified. I'm just going to click save. If you find that the content that you wish to write down from a meeting with your athlete is potentially sensitive, there is an option to make it private. You can see the checkbox there, like so. I've just clicked. What that does is effectively make it locked down for everyone other than yourself. So the person that entered that note is the only one that can see it. So that really provides a little bit of security for users, and many disciplines will find this useful, such as psychology, so that you can write genuine notes and your own ideas and thoughts about something without someone else coming and having a look if there may be some sensitivity around that. So what we've had a look through is the strategies tab. We've looked at the Athlete Life section, and we've also looked at the Notes and Communications tab on the front page. One thing that we haven't looked at, which may be quite useful, is back on the Life tab. So I'm just going to navigate my way there. There's a button called Generate and View. Here it is, just down from the right top corner. If I click Generate and View, what it does is it converts everything that I've typed into the Athlete Life tab into a Word document. The value of this can be if you wanted to send the document to an athlete to simply provide them with a record, or you may want to send it to them so that they can edit it and potentially send it back to you and correct something in case you missed something from the meeting that you had just had. So the Word document can provide a range of benefits, and that can be saved against the athlete perhaps in the Documents tab, just to provide a running history over time. As you can see here, it's just a representation of the Athlete Life section. There's even a representation there of that profile. So potentially quite useful if you wanted to update it. You could have a draft version, version 1, version 2, and so on. So I'll just go back to the Z system now. So that Generate and View button can be quite useful, and certainly something you may find yourself using. Anyway, thanks for stopping by.